You aren't lazy. You're addicted, not to social media, not to entertainment, not even to dopamine itself. You're addicted to the feeling of progress. And that addiction might be the reason you're stuck. Think about what happens when you discover a new goal, a business idea, a fitness plan, a new habit, a new version of yourself. Suddenly, you feel excited, motivated, focused. For a moment, it feels like your life is about to change. But nothing has changed. You haven't done the work. You haven't built the habit. You haven't earned the result. Yet your brain already rewards you. That's the trap. The brain loves anticipation. It loves the promise of success. Sometimes more than success itself. That's why planning feels so good. That's why imagining your future feels powerful. That's why watching motivational content can feel productive. You experience the emotion of progress without making progress. And your brain starts confusing the two. Modern culture makes this worse. Every day, millions of people consume motivation. Videos, quotes, podcasts, success stories, and for a few minutes, they feel unstoppable. But motivation is not action. Excitement is not discipline. Inspiration is not progress. Real progress begins when the feeling disappears. That's the moment most people fail. Because motivation always fades. Every single time. The excitement of the new goal disappears. The energy disappears. The confidence disappears. And then reality arrives. The repetition, the boredom, the discomfort, the work. This is where people assume they lack discipline. But discipline isn't the ability to act when you feel motivated. That's easy. Discipline is acting when motivation is gone. Anyone can work when they feel inspired. Anyone can work when they're excited. The difficult part is continuing when you don't feel like doing anything. That's where growth actually happens. Unfortunately, modern life trains people to avoid that feeling. The moment boredom appears, they reach for a screen. The moment discomfort appears, they seek distraction. The moment work becomes difficult, they look for stimulation. Over time, they become dependent on motivation, dependent on excitement, dependent on emotional energy. And that's dangerous, because emotions are unstable. Some days you'll feel powerful. Some days you'll feel nothing. If your actions depend on your emotions, your consistency disappears. And without consistency, results never arrive. The people who achieve extraordinary things understand something different. They stop chasing motivation. They stop waiting for the perfect mood. They stop waiting to feel ready. Instead, they build systems, routines, standards. They decide what needs to be done. Then they do it, whether they feel motivated or not. That is why discipline creates freedom. Because discipline removes negotiation. You stop asking, "Do I feel like it today?" and start asking, "Does it need to be done?" The answer becomes simple. And simple actions repeated over time create extraordinary outcomes. This is why the most successful people are often not the most talented. They're not the smartest. They're not the most motivated. They're simply the most consistent. They continue after the excitement disappears. They continue after the dopamine fades. They continue after the emotional high is gone. Most people never reach that stage. They spend years chasing the feeling of progress. Starting, stopping, restarting, planning, dreaming, waiting. Meanwhile, the disciplined person keeps moving. One step, then another, then another. Nothing dramatic, nothing exciting, just consistent effort. And eventually, that effort becomes momentum. Momentum becomes results. Results become confidence. And confidence becomes real motivation. Not the artificial kind, not the chemical illusion, the real kind. The kind that comes from evidence. The kind that comes from action. The kind that comes from knowing you can trust yourself. The uncomfortable truth is that you probably don't need more motivation. You need less dependence on it. Because motivation is temporary. Discipline is reliable. Motivation creates excitement. Discipline creates results. And results are what change lives. So stop chasing the feeling. Stop waiting for inspiration. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment isn't coming. The only thing that matters is whether you're willing to act when the excitement disappears. Because that is where real progress begins. And that is where the dopamine deception finally loses its power.